Yo, what's up? My name is Rich, and in this video right here, we're gonna do a step-by-step vinyl t-shirt from start to finish, because we did one in the past, but it was a little more of a highlight reel. And this one, we're gonna go step by step, all right? So the first thing we need to do is have a vinyl cutter. So I have a Graphtec. This one is the older one now. I believe the 7000 is out now. There's a Graphtec CE 6000-60 plus. This one was around, I think around 1700 or 1800 bucks. So it might not be the greatest price for a starting point. There are the cameos and the silhouettes. To be honest, I don't really have any hands-on experience with them, but I can explain to you the differences in like the end of this video on why I would go with something like this instead of the cameo and whatnot. But it is speculation as well for the reasons that I didn't go with it. But we'll dive deeper into that later. Here we have the cutter, right? So this cutter right here, you can cut up to 24 inches wide. I believe it's 24 inches. So if you have a vinyl roll that's as wide as 24 inches, you can cut it. So it doesn't always have to just be, it doesn't always have to be heat transfer vinyl, which is what I mainly use it for a t-shirt. You could cut other vinyl things like decals and whatnot, but we're just going to use it for what I use it for the most part. So the first thing we need to do is grab our heat transfer vinyl roll and put it on here. So there's a handful of colors we can choose from. So let me go ahead and grab one real quick. So I think I'm going to go with this color right here for now, because I rarely ever use it. It's like a seafoam green. But just to give you guys a quick look, you can also do like stuff like patterns. So it's already pre-printed in patterns. So there's a camo, there's the poop emoji, and then you also got something like plaid. But the list goes on. There's thousands of different patterns from different websites that you can order from. And there's also different types of effects, I guess. Is that what you would call it? I don't know. Man, there's one vinyl I do have right now is supposed to puff up after you press it. So that's pretty neat, right? We'll go ahead and take that a look after we do our first t-shirt. All I'm gonna do is take this, there's a place to put it right behind, and I'm gonna take the heat transfer vinyl and just slide it through. Now this cutter right here has these two little rolling pins that will keep the vinyl in place, so it's not gonna go anywhere. So all I'm gonna do is do that, and now it's snapped into position. So right after I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and click the number 1. All that's gonna do is find the edge of this rolling paper, and after we do that, we can go ahead and cut. However, I don't like to cut at the very edge because sometimes it tends to mess up a little bit. So I like to go ahead and push it down just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna throw you into the computer now, and from there we'll get our design and we'll get to cutting. Okay, so we're in the computer right now. We're in Adobe Illustrator. This is one of the reasons why I like the Graphtec, is because I can cut straight from Adobe Illustrator onto the cutter. I don't have to use another software. I believe with the Cameo, you have to go into another software outside of what you're using to design just to send your project to the cutter, okay? Okay, so right now I have a raster image right here. A vinyl cutter is not going to be able to cut a raster image, but even with the Cameo software, I know they have something that can convert a raster image to a vector. So in Illustrator, it's called image trace. All I'm going to do is hit ignore white. Since this is a black and white image, I don't really have to worry about too much of the other settings. Also, since this is already clear in picture, not necessarily the lines, that's what we need to focus on. We need to get pinpoints so that the blade of the cutter knows what to follow, okay? Instead of it just looking at an image. So I'm gonna hit trace, and it's gonna turn all of this into lines. I'm pretty zoomed in because I want you to see the difference. And here you can see the difference. It turned from pixels into actual lines. So now the actual blade from the cutter knows exactly what it's looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna click expand at the top real quick. And here we are, we have our ninja. We do have to mirror the image because when it cuts onto the vinyl, it's gonna be backwards, it's gonna be flipped. And once it goes onto the shirt, it's gonna be showing the right way. You'll see that soon. And so anyways, here's another reason why I like to work with the Graphtec. So this document right here is 15 inches wide. That's how wide our roll of vinyl is. And it's as long as we need it to be. So if I needed to keep on cutting, I can do so. So I'm gonna copy this right here, and I'm gonna paste it right here. So if I wanted to do it twice, I can do it twice. Or if I wanted to do a different design, I could do a different design. And it will keep cutting while I'm in the middle of working on something else, okay? So this is Command D, this shortcut right here, and it's just gonna keep on pasting it. So check that out. if I wanted all of these items to cut while I'm still working on something else, then the cutter will know to do so, because this is like, it's pretty much imitating the roll of the vinyl. That's how I have it set up. If I wanted to do different designs as well, I could do so. But right now we're only doing one. I believe, see, I'm speaking off of speculation. The Cameo, I'm not too sure if you can do a roll. I have seen there was a roll attachment for vinyl rolls, but the two together, working with Illustrator and just being able to have it cut non-stop, those are pretty much the two main reasons why I went with the Graphtec. All right, so here we have our Ninja. So we're gonna go ahead and mirror this image. What we can do is right click on it, hit transform, and click reflect. Now, here's something that's very nice to know. I make my own shortcuts for all of these things. There is no reflect shortcut. You have to make it yourself. You can go into the preferences in Adobe Illustrator to make it. And there's also one other shortcut that I like to make as far as vinyl cutting that makes everything easier, okay? So instead of me clicking on that, all I did was hit Command-Shift-T, and now I'm flipping it vertical. All right, so now we have our transform window right here. This lets me know the exact size of this image, okay? So it says 10.435 inches wide. That's how wide it's gonna cut it out. Typically I like my prints anywhere between 10 to 12 inches wide. I'm gonna do it 11 inches wide. So now I have it set as 11 inches wide. It's gonna cut this image right here 11 inches wide. All right, so last shortcut we got going on. I can't show it to you because I can't move my screen recorder to the top of this Mac window, but so pretty much the cutting software that attaches Illustrator to the Graphtec is called Cutting Master 4. And basically to get to the window where it says cut, you have to do it on the menu up top. But instead I changed the shortcut to Command-Shift-1. So as soon as I'm ready to go, I just do that and it's going to pull up my cutter. In here, we can save our settings for the different types of rolls we are using. So we're using a 15-inch roll, 15-inch wide roll. This is going to be as long as the roll is. I usually just have it set at some ridiculous large number because I usually have like, you know, like a good 60-yard roll or something like that. So by the time it gets towards the end, I can physically see it by looking at it. So I'm not ever really too concerned about this number itself. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and click send. It's gonna send it to the cutter. All right, so here I am at the cutter. It's about to start cutting. It's working its magic. Basically all it's gonna do is cut the image out. So we're just gonna sit here and wait on that. So pretty much we're gonna sit here and wait on that. But like I was saying, this is why I like having a roll of vinyl, because if you're doing a lot of projects, this right here is kind of time consuming. And if you have something else to do at the heat press or your t-shirts, prepping things, you can go ahead and let this cut while you're doing everything else. So say if you already have 5 designs cut, you can be working on weeding those 5 designs while the cutter is cutting out another 5 designs or 10 designs, 20 designs. Because when it's doing something like this, you don't want to waste that type of time. So that's why I like being able to have a roll of vinyl. All right, so we're gonna take this blade right here. It comes with the cutter. I don't think all cutters have this. It has a little groove right here that you can just go ahead and cut. All right. So now we have our heat transfer vinyl cut. It looks the same, right? It looks the same, but we're gonna take it on over to a heat press to weed it. All right, so now I'm at my heat press. I got my design and I'm gonna weed it out. So got my heat press. All I'm going to do, so I'm gonna warm up this bottom platen a little bit. That way it's nice and warm. And it's gonna warm up this heat transfer vinyl. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to weed. Go ahead and pull this out, because this is a nice little slide out drawer. I'm gonna go ahead and do something like this, warm up the entire sheet. I'm just gonna start weeding. I'm gonna take my tweezers. There's different types of tools. I don't know what that was, but there's different types of tools that you can use. It's not focusing. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start off like that. Take out all the excess background. You could also cut it down with some scissors. Keep the scraps to the side for like a smaller project if you like. So now I just got one full piece. So what I'm going to do is weed out all the cavities. See that? Oh, we're right here. There we go. Might look a little crazy how I'm doing it because I'm trying to show it to y'all at the same time. As you can see, it can be a little time consuming, so you want to keep your designs as simple as possible. Something like this isn't too bad because all the negative spacing are quite large, so it's easy to take out all the excess portions without having to be too intricate. Alright, so check it out. Now, as you can see, this is how we cut it in reverse. The reason being is because when we push it onto the shirt, it's going to be this way. That's the way we're going to press it onto the t-shirt, alright? That's our little ninja. So, what we're going to do is take our t-shirt, put it on here. Don't know if you can see, but this is how you can kind of make sure it's straight. This right here, the line of where the platen is, if it's parallel to the actual side of the t-shirt. Hopefully y'all can see that. I can't see the screen. And then you can also do the same thing with the bottom. You can make sure where the line is on the platen, you can make sure it's when you pull it out, it's parallel to the bottom. However, that part right there is not always accurate. I mean, even Bella Canvas has this on their box. It says not all tees are created equal. So a lot of times these bottom portions aren't really straight. So you'll even notice a lot of those shirts in your closet, but it's not something that's a huge deal because it does go by unnoticed a lot. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that's straight. The same thing I did on this side, I always go ahead and do it on this side really quick. When I lay my shirt down, I kind of pull it down really quick. Let me see, there you go, my arm's in the way right there. If you can see on my right hand, I pull it down real quick, make sure both sides are parallel to the actual platen. And you do typically want to do the pre-press. I don't really do it as much, but it does help the quality out a little bit more because it makes it nice and flat. And if you want to take a lint roller, get all the little pieces of lint out. Got our design now. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I am looking at a crazy angle right now, so hopefully we're good. Hopefully I'm recording on this thing. I'm not. My audio might be a little messed up. It's all good though. Alright. So now I'm going to push it back in, and you want to place a Teflon over it, a parchment, craft paper, whatever it is. I'm going to place this directly over it. What this is going to do is going to protect the shirt while we're pressing from too much heat. Now it's going down for anywhere between 10 to 15 seconds. So now we're waiting between 10 to 15 seconds, and we should be good to go. We're good to go. All right, so here we go. Got that. Now, I believe this is a hot peel. It is because it's coming right off. Check that out. And there we have our nice little old heat transfer vinyl t-shirt. Ooh-wee, look at that. Alright, so I went ahead and cut this design out. This is the WalaPress vinyl. The vinyl is supposed to thicken up, it's supposed to puff as soon as you put it onto a t-shirt. All right, so we're going to, let's make sure this is good to go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and weed this. This is something that'll look a little nicer on something like a sweater, maybe a polo. You know, you can put it on a t-shirt too, but I think it'll look pretty cool on a sweater. So this design is slightly different. I made a small modification. All I did was invert everything. I made it one large solid piece instead because I think for something like a puff, it'll look a lot neater as a solid piece instead of a whole bunch of smaller pieces. All right, so check it out. I think it actually looks a little cooler like this. One nice solid piece like that. What I'm gonna do as well, since I got thicker garment going on, I'm gonna loosen the pressure. Okay, that should be good. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Left for loose, right for tight. All right, so we'll go ahead and give this a nice little pre-press. I want this to look good, right? Nice and flat. Here we go. All right, so I'm pretty excited about this. I wonder how long it takes to puff up. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that right there. I'm gonna pull out my phone too. I'm also gonna record on my phone because I want to see this puff up. Pretty excited about that. So we're looking at about 320, 10 to 15 seconds. Peel warm. All right, I gotta pull out my camera. 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna take that off. Oh, it looks like it's already puffing up. Yeah, it is. Oh man, look at that. That is amazing. Do y'all see what I'm seeing? It looks like it's cotton almost. All right, so maybe I can cool it down a little more and it'll keep puffing. It's still going. That's awesome. Now that is what you call some heat transfer vinyl. Let me feel it. Oh yeah, it feels completely different than what vinyl usually feels like. I really think customers are like this because, man, you would never know what this is. You would think it's also like, I know screen printing, they also have a type of ink that puffs up like this, but this is heat transfer vinyl. You can do this for the low without getting a whole screen printing press and all of that. Look at that. I wonder how I look on this camera while I'm doing this right here. That's pretty amazing. So, and I just like the way the ninja looks on there. Look at that. All right, so I guess I'll put it on, right? All right, so there we have it. Can't really tell on camera, but you can definitely feel the difference. You can see it a lot better in person. On camera, it just looks, some things are hard to capture on camera. I'm trying to get a little sideways so you can see a little bit of the puff, but it's definitely a lot more exquisite than regular heat transfer vinyl. So I guess that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you're looking to start off with some heat transfer vinyl, it's practically one of the easiest and cheapest ways to get into the t-shirt printing world. You don't need a $2,000 heat transfer vinyl cutter. I wish I had something a little more budget friendly to show you guys, but maybe over time I'll show you guys something a little more budget friendly. But this heat press right here is definitely budget friendly. I know it's been sold out. If you're looking to get it, just click the link down below, click notify me when available. So hopefully that helped you out. If it did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and got plenty of content on the way. So make sure you're subscribed, all right? My name is Rich. Peace, love, blessings, all that good stuff, and see y'all next time.